It is very important for Raila to go to China as the AUC candidate from Kenya because one is China is the major trading partner with Africa as we speak. Since 2020, since the FOCAC started, China has displaced the Western region or Western countries to be the sole major trader with African countries. That is one. China is also strategic as it is the country that has invested a lot of money in Africa in terms of giving loans and in terms of projects that have happened here in Africa. It was important for Raila to go to China, secondly, because there are many African countries, because this is a China-Africa forum. So many African countries have gone to China, that is African presidents, leaders, and that presented a very good opportunity for Raila to continue campaigning for himself, to continue going to people to give his mandate to this African...
You tell them the benefit that Kenya is going to get after Raila Amolo Odinga is declared the official AUC chairman.
Hello guys, welcome to yet another great session that we're having here. Today we're speaking about politics that affect Kenya internally and what is coming externally.
Yes.
Jeff.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. Thank you so much for having this great episode. On today's story, I think we want to talk about Raila and the AU.
Yes.
You know very well that Raila Amolo Odinga, yesterday I saw Raila Amolo Odinga and President William Samoei Ruto going to China. My question is that, what did Raila Amolo Odinga go to do in China? Why was it important for Raila Amolo Odinga to accompany the president himself, William Samoei Ruto, to China? Why?
It is very important for Raila to go to China as the AUC candidate from Kenya because one is China is the major trading partner with Africa as we speak. Since 2020, since the FOCAC started, China has displaced the Western region or Western countries to be the sole major trader with African countries. That is one. China is also strategic as it is the country that has invested a lot of money in Africa in terms of giving loans and in terms of projects that have happened here in Africa. So China does projects in many countries in Africa, and some of these projects, as we are going to speak about, cut across borders. So it was very important for Raila Odinga to attend such a meeting. Also, it was important for Raila to go to China, secondly, because there are many African countries, because this is a China-Africa forum. So many African countries have gone to China, that is African presidents, leaders, and that presented a very good opportunity for Raila to continue campaigning for himself, to continue going to people to give his mandate to these African leaders, to give his mandate and solidify his support from the African leaders. So it is very important, more so as we can mention the Belt and Road Initiative, the BRI, that China is doing. The BRI is a flagship project, this major project by China that cuts across from Asia all the way to Western Europe. Yeah? There are two sections of it. There is the road section that spans across from China all the way Mongolia, cutting through Russia, Moscow, goes through Turkey, all the way to Western Europe, and then there's the maritime sector. Now Kenya is involved in this maritime sector, where it spans from China, cuts across the Philippines, goes to India, and then comes to the port of Mombasa. Now this port of Mombasa, also there's another port also in the coast region, that is the Lamu port, that is also involved in this BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative. Now it is very important for Raila to be there because as the president of Kenya is going there to advocate for the extension of the SGR. Mind you, the SGR is part of the BRI. It is part of the Belt and Road Initiative. In fact, the SGR, Jeff, was built for cargo. It was not built for people to travel on. It was not built for passengers.
And it was built by China.
China, yes. Just the same way we have the expressway here.
Yeah.
It is part of the BRI. It is part of the Belt and Road Initiative by China. As this massive, expansive infrastructure project that China has. Okay, so the mission is to have goods that can flow directly across the Asian region by maritime to come to the African region through the port of Mombasa or the port of Lamu. Now, LAPSSET project is not yet completed. Yeah, we know that we have the LAPSSET project that has taken very many years and is not completed. So it is important for our president, first of all, to be there to advocate for the completion of the LAPSSET project that is going to open northern Kenya. We know that there are roads, there are highways that are going to open up northern Kenya because goods are going to come from Asia all the way to Lamu port, and then they're going to go either to landlocked Ethiopia or South Sudan. So that is one. But these roads that are going to cut across borders will not be on the mandate of President Ruto. They will be on the mandate of the AUC chairperson. So it's important for Raila to go there to start orienting himself of projects that he is going to face.
Why are you sure that Raila Amolo Odinga is going to clinch this seat? Because we didn't see the person in Djibouti going to the China. Why? Why?
It is strategic.
By the way, but let me ask,
Yes.
are you sure that Raila Amolo Odinga is going to win this seat?
Right now, I can say I'm 60% sure.
Why?
Not that confident, but 60% confidence
Sure.
tells me that Raila is going to take this seat.
Does he have academic qualification to fit this seat?
We already passed that. He has been approved.
He has been approved.
He has already been
but
approved by the council.
For you
Yes.
to communicate with all the countries, because you are going to be the AU chairman, so you need to be knowing like Arabic, French.
No, it's not a must.
Why?
It's not a must.
But how is he going to communicate with other countries? You as the chair.
We can always communicate because even we have our ambassadors, we have translators that can do that. It is very easy for people to communicate across borders, even if they have different languages. Raila Odinga, you wanted to make Raila Odinga your president, and you're saying about qualifications. You're saying about qualifications. So you wanted to make a person who is not qualified to be your president.
I think AU seat is a big seat. But about president, it's just about English Kiswahili here in Kenya. But AU seat, you must
Language.
be good in language.
Language will not be a barrier to anyone, to Raila Odinga or anyone. Musa Faki, I don't believe in Musa Faki knows a lot of English.
You see how you're speaking.
I've never heard.
The guy is speaking fluent English.
So I think, Jeff, this is what I'm saying. I think the issue about language is not going to be any problem to Raila Odinga to get that seat. We are going to have translators in every event.
Okay, why are you sure that Raila Amolo Odinga 60% is going to clinch this seat? What makes you confidence to say so?
Time.
For me, I stand with the Djibouti, Yusuf from Djibouti, and I have my reason. Let's go with you. Why?
Yusuf is a good guy. He is a good guy, but
true.
Sometimes time and fate place you in a bad situation where you just will not succeed because you have a very formidable force.
I know the reason why people are saying that Raila Odinga is going to clinch this seat because this guy is very influential. But for me, I think that the AUC doesn't need influential. They doesn't need that. Raila is just a political influencer. That's what I can say.
Raila,
he fight 5 times.
Raila is the best person for the AU seat. Why? Because Raila is a Pan-African. That guy understands the history of Africa. He understands where Africa needs to go from here. He understands well everything that is supposed to be done for Africans within the continent and outside the continent to feel they are proud of being African. You know, it is not just about being a Kenyan and supporting Raila Odinga. He is the best person for this job. If you can look at other AUC leaders that have been there, many of them have come from Francophone Africa. Yeah. It is a time for the Anglophone also to have their own candidate and to have another candidate. This will be the second person from the Anglophone countries to be the AUC chairperson. I think it's time also for African leaders to be fair of how they are voting these people. I know the Right Honorable Mohammed Yusuf is a very good and formidable force. But this is just the time for Raila Odinga. Yeah. This is the time for Raila Odinga to be the AUC chairperson. And it will be a lot of pride for this country. It will be a lot of pride for East Africans to have their first AUC chairperson.
Okay, there is something that I would like to ask you. You have said that Raila Amolo Odinga, 60% is going to clean. What does he have to do to make it 100%? Which country does he have to convince?
He has to convince a lot of countries, more so in the Northern Africa and in the Western Africa. What we know as per now is that most countries in the Western Africa speak French and they are There's also the influence of Arabic in there, but I just want to pass this message across that it's not going to be just as simple as that. That any country that speaks French, any country that is Arabic will vote this way. It is not like that. It's not often like that. There are a lot of interests to consider, and it is just how that candidate is convincing to these presidents that will make them to be elected. So I think he has to do a lot of work in West Africa. Most of these are, I can call them geographically small countries in West Africa.
True.
He should make sure that he focuses on those. Should also make sure that he focuses on a little bit on South Africa, but I know Southern African states are going to support him.
Because even in the inauguration of Ramaphosa, he was invited.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has a lot of favor from South Africa itself, and I believe Raila will get a lot of votes, I can say, from Southern African states, Eastern Africa as well, East Africa to be specific. What he should concentrate on is basically the North, and also the West. But something very interesting here, Jeff. The deputy chairperson of the AUC also will be elected, will have to come from Northern Africa. Okay? So you tell me, you want to elect Djibouti, which is almost Northern Africa, then you're going to have a Northerner who is the deputy.
Who was the previous deputy?
I will come to that. Then you want to elect another person who is also of the same, almost of the same character, dialect, French and Arabic. So we'll have too many, or maybe two French and Arabic chairperson and deputy chairperson. It doesn't add up to me. I think what we need to have is that diversity in leadership. If you have diversity in leadership, that means we need to have a chairperson from Southern Africa, maybe an Anglophony, and then we can have a French or Arabic that represents the face of Africa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, who was the previous, who is now the current deputy of AUC?
I think we'll have to do some research into that.
No problem. Okay, there's something that you have talked about here.
Yes.
You have said that Raila Amolo Odinga needs to influence South Africa. Raila Amolo Odinga needs to influence Nigeria. Why not other countries? Why is it most important South Africa and Nigeria?
These are the most influential countries in Africa. And when you have the support of these influential countries, it becomes easier for you to influence other countries around them. If you have the support of Nigeria, it means that, I'm not saying that they have sovereign power over everyone, but it means that the region will easily accept you if you have that support of Nigeria, because a lot of countries in the West Africa recognize Nigeria as the main country in their region. So if you have the support of Nigeria, it will be easy for you to garner the support of other countries in the West Africa, Ghana as well. So I think, and so far, Raila Odinga has gotten the support of these countries. He has gotten the support of Nigeria, Ghana, he has gotten the support of South Africa, East Africa, a lot of countries, DRC, Congo, a lot of countries have supported Raila Odinga already, 20 to the number. The East African community as an organization of countries has come forward to say that they will support Raila Odinga. So I don't know. Other people are saying that OIC has already supported the Mohamed Yusuf, but it is not on paper. That is something that people are not discussing. Yeah, they've not written it anywhere that OIC has come forward to support Mohamed Yusuf. That is only just perceived. And we don't take perceptions. Raila Odinga went personally to these presidents, and these presidents have told Raila Odinga that they will support him. The problem is that when you come to diplomacy in such high level, a single change can make a lot of difference when it comes to voting. So there's a lot of time between now and February that can bring up a lot of changes. One thing we know, Jeff, countries that have undergone coups will not vote in these elections.
What if they change?
Unless they change that. They are banned from
that
the
is,
AU.
Burkina Faso, Niger,
Mali. And where are they? They're in West Africa.
Yeah.
And these are the perceived countries that people are saying will vote for.
Djibouti.
Okay. So that is the problem that we are seeing. That will make Raila Odinga to be the head of AU. But of course, you have to. It's not a simple majority. It's not a 50+1. You have to get 2/3 majority of the support. So It is a long, hard task for Raila Odinga, and for him to achieve that, it is going to cost a lot of diplomacy. That is why you find him traveling everywhere, trying to make it right.
The opinion of Kenyans. So many Kenyans don't want Raila Amolo Odinga to clean this seat.
Not so many.
There are so many Kenyans outside there through the comments. We are talking about through the comments of so many Kenyans.
There are also so many who want him to be president.
They don't want Raila Amolo Odinga to win this seat. Okay, can you tell them the benefit that Kenya is going to get after Raila Amolo Odinga is declared the official AUC chairman?
Let me start by correcting your statement. Yes, there are Kenyans, and that is agreeable because this is a democracy. There are Kenyans out there who see that Raila Odinga should not get that seat. But there are also many Kenyans who are wishing Raila Odinga well, and they're saying that Raila Odinga is the best person to go for the AU seat. So it is a divided opinion, and it is good that we are discussing about it. There are benefits of a person who is coming from your country becoming the AU chairperson. And one is that, as I started by saying, we have projects that are cutting across different regions in Africa. Some of these projects are here in Kenya. For example, the LAPSET project and the SGR. The president, as they are now in China, they are going to advocate for the extension of the SGR. But the president is going only to advocate for the extension of the SGR up to the border. The president is not going to speak about Uganda. The president is not going to speak about Rwanda. The AUC chairperson is the one who is going to advocate for that extension to go across the region, okay? So if you have an AUC chairperson who is coming from our region, and specifically from Kenya, there are two projects that are very important that, if implemented, they're going to directly benefit Kenya. And that is the LAPSET project, and this is the SGR project, okay? So if we extend the SGR project, that means that the SGR is going to move from Naivasha all the way to the border. That is a benefit to Kenyans, okay? Second, if you are going to finish up the project, the Lamu project, the LAPSET project, that is a benefit to Kenya. Those are jobs. Then we are going to have the corridor also from Kenya all the way to South Sudan, and another from Kenya all the way, from Lamu all the way to Ethiopia. Those are opportunities. If you have a very good, elaborate, secure, safe highway that spans across, those are benefits. You're going to open up a region in Kenya that, honestly, as of now, there are no economic activities that are going on there, okay? So there's a lot of benefit. Also, in terms of Kenya's influence to the world, global influence. We're going to have an improved global influence if Raila Odinga gets that position to be the AUC chairperson. Kenya is going to be recognized. He can lobby. Of course, I'm not saying that Raila will go and work for Kenya, but he can lobby for international events to be taking place here in the country. Yeah, you know, when these people come for these events, they just don't come for the events and leave. They come and find that Kenya is an attractive place for them to do business, for them to do tourism. I remember when we have events, international events here, the president keeps reminding these people that go and visit our parks, go and visit our coastal region. There is a lot in Kenya to offer. And when these people come and find this, that is a direct benefit to Kenyans. So there is some of course, level of benefit directly in terms of our economies and in terms of prestige as Kenyans, that, you know, it is not something that will come often. This is a 4-year term, and possibly the person who's going to get this seat, be it Raila Odinga or Mohamed Yusuf, they're going to go for 2 terms, okay? That will be 8 years. And then after that, that chairmanship will go to another region. It will not come to East Africa. So you can imagine how many regions are those? 4 regions. Till it comes back. So 4 times 8, 32 years. It is 32 years till another position comes for the Kenya to contest. And perhaps at that time, Tanzania will say, no, we gave you a chance. Now let us have a chance. It will take a very long time, perhaps in hundreds of years.
Well, that Tanzania had got their candidate, but
of course
it dropped.
Yes. Yeah. So it is a chance that Kenya should grab. Okay. It doesn't harm anyone. It will not affect anyone. I think what we should do is pray for our candidates to win. It is a rare chance, and we should take this chance.
For me, I can say that Raila Amolo Odinga betrayed the Gen Z. So it's going to be very hard for me to support him. Even though we as the youth wanted Raila to go home and relax.
Yes.
We are the same youth that said Raila Amolo Odinga don't come to Maandamano. We are the same youth that said Raila Amolo Odinga, please stay at home. The same youth that we say that Raila Amolo Odinga, keep quiet from this thing that is happening in our country.
Yeah.
Raila Amolo Odinga, quiet. Right now, we are the same people that are saying that Raila Amolo Odinga should fail the AU seat.
I wonder. One thing as we finish. These elections are going to take place next year in February. And it's not only the deputy and the chairperson that are going to be elected. People should know that 8 other people are also going to be elected as commissioners. These are commissioners. So these are the commissioners that the chairperson and the deputy will be working with. And these commissioners will be distributed across Africa in the regions. So we'll have, for example, there is a cap that says that the deputy and the president, the regions that are going to produce the deputy and the president, that is the East Africa currently, the East Africa region and the Northern Africa, will only produce 1 commissioner each. Then the other remaining, I think, three regions, the Central, West and South, will produce two commissioners each to make a total of 8 commissioners plus 2 that is the chairperson and the deputy. So there are also commissioners that will be elected from these regions. So we should also have that copy to know that it is not only the deputy and the chair. Also, those commissioners are not going to be elected by the presidents. That is the difference. The presidents are only going to elect the chairperson and deputy personally. That is the reserve of the presidents or the heads of states. That is, if a president is not the head of state in that country, maybe it's the prime minister, it's the prime minister that is going to elect that president. They can as well give their mandate to someone, but that is, they have to write and make sure that they have given that mandate to someone to vote on their behalf. But for the commissioners, they will be elected by the council, the executive council of the AU, and that the executive council is comprising of all foreign secretaries across the African continent. So the likes of Madividi, the likes of all foreign secretaries, they're the ones who form the executive council, and they're the ones who are going to elect the commissioners to office. So all this is going to happen next year, February.
As you are finishing,
yes,
William Samoei Ruto was given 40 billion by China. Why?
There are, as we got the information from the media and from also our elected leaders, Ndindi Nyoro himself came out and said that money is going to be used to finish up projects in the country that have not yet been finished in terms of what's funny?
The ones that Morara is proposing.
He said that is the money that is going to complete these projects. That is the information that we have.
Until next time, we say game over.